So, hi, my name is Alicia. I'm the founder of LevelUp Score, and I have a very dear friend with me today. Miguel is here. And Miguel, do you mind give us a little introduction about who you are and what your business is?
Well, yeah, my name is Miguel Aguilo, and I'm Puerto Rican. God forgave me for that. Just kidding. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm proud to be Puerto Rican. And I've been living here in the United States on Florida because we are Puerto Ricans are United States citizens. I've been living here for 25 years of my life. I have a beautiful family. I'm a man of faith. I've been in ministry for 17, 18 years of my life. And recently, not so long ago, probably 10 months ago, I started a new journey in my life, which is credit repair. I have a company which is called S&M Financial Solutions. S stands for my wife, Sandra, and M for Miguel. So S&M Financial Solutions, and the journey's been great, and I'm enjoying every day doing this.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And you have a specific market of people that you help with their credit journey. Can you talk to us about those individuals that you might be able to help?
Yes, being a man of faith, I go to church and I been serving the Spanish community on especially people that reach out to the church for some reason. We go to church for different reasons because it was taught to us when we were rising up, or because we have some things in our life that lead us to find a light, find something, find a place that we can feel safe or we can feel encouraged. And many times, people that are broken, they come to church. And when we talk about people broken, broken can be defined in many ways. And financially, it's one of those areas that when people go to church, they are financially a mess, but nobody talks to them about that.
Mhm.
It's always about I pray for you and try to hang in there. But what are the tools that are going to help people? So I help people with education, financial education, how to manage a budget, how to pay down a debt, how to get out of debt. And debt is not bad. It's when you don't manage it, when you don't know how to manage it. So I've been focused on helping people how to have a new start financially. And the vehicle for that is credit. Because many doors are closed because credit is bad. In this country, it's okay if we don't have money. But if we don't have credit, we really in trouble. So we can be lacking of money, and that's when credit come in sometimes to give us a push and to give us a gap so we can manage certain things. So I've been like educating people in our community, in my community, in the Spanish community, and especially people that go to church, because it's a tool. It's a tool for people. My passion is helping people. My passion is being people being transformed. So why not using this knowledge and these tools that I have to help people be financially free as well?
I love that. And I love what you said about credit opening up opportunities and you don't have to have money. I
Right.
tell my story often. I became a millionaire first because I bought my first home, $0 down, interest only, right? Bought that property, fixed it up, sold it, bought another property. That property I sold for a lot, did the same kind of thing where I no money down, all that stuff. And then that gave me the money to buy a gym, and that money gave me a money to buy another gym. And it just kind of trickled on, and it was something that I didn't have the cash in my pocket to do those things,
Right.
but it all came from the opportunity to, with my good credit. I mean, think about that. No money down, an interest only loan, right? So I'm only paying the interest on the loan. So my payments were really small. I was 20 something years old. I think I was 20, two kids, divorced, and it opened up this amazing opportunity for me. And I can't say it enough of what you just said. Like, credit is so important. I'm glad that you're there in the Spanish community helping people and meeting them there, because I think you're right. We go to church and we get help with spiritual brokenness,
Which is good.
which is
It's
good and it's
needed.
needed.
It's needed.
Yeah.
Right. But
But
it's
I find
incomplete.
it is incomplete. And I don't know if you agree with me, but I believe that if your financial house is a mess, it's harder to get close to God and your spiritual part, because you're so that that part of you could be so broken that it's about survival, right?
I
And
can I can assure you, out of 10, 8 people that pray, money is included. Financials are included on that prayer on a sad way, on a desperation way, asking God to help them financially because they are stuck. So it's part of our prayers. It's part of why we are emotionally down.
love that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. You're based in Florida, very
Right.
close to Orlando. And
Yeah.
do you serve clients like locally, nationally? How do you serve clients?
I've been concentrating on being the local guy, even though I have some clients that they found me through Facebook,
Yeah.
people that knows me for a while, and they live in different states. They have reached out to me, and especially people from Puerto Rico. Yeah, family, friends that they have tell somebody else, and they go like, "Hey, such and such tell me to find you in social media, so I need help," and that's how my business has been developing lately.
Wonderful. And if there's someone listening to this, because our audience, we have people who are looking for credit help that might be listening to this, what would you maybe say to them on how they can connect with you and get the help that you could provide?
Of course, yeah, I will say it in English and then I'll say it in Spanish for all those people that are out there listening. Like I said before, I believe that credit is not the end, but credit is the key that will open the door for our goals, whatever that looks like. Some people want to buy their first home, and that's a big dream. And that's how I started with credit. I mean, I started there because in 2020, I went to buy my house, and they told me, you need to get better credit so you can buy it. And I was okay, I was going to be qualified, but not in the best position.
Yeah.
And they told me, we're going to build a house. It takes like 6 months to get it built. And in that time, you need to raise a score. So I was like, okay, how do I do it? Oh, we're going to give you a number. That number never got to me. And I started going on different webpage and social media and YouTube and trying to find information. And I started throwing all the spaghettis to the wall to see which one sticks. And somehow it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. It wasn't the best, but it was enough to get me into my house with 0 down and 2.7 interest rate.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have gave some money down and they gave it back to me at the closing. Yeah. And so it was great. And for me, it was like, it ignited something in me. So people need this. And I tell all the people out there, it doesn't matter what it is that you want to accomplish. Could be a new business, could be just a car. Many people are just buying a car. They go like, mine is messed up. I can keep running behind the mechanic to fix it every time. I need a car, but I don't qualify for it. Credit is the key. It will open many, many, many doors for you. So I switched to Spanish. Para toda la gente que está viendo. Y el crédito es la llave. El crédito es la llave. Tú necesitas buen crédito para todo lo que rodea tu vida. En este país puedes no tener dinero, pero necesitas tener crédito. Comprar una casa, un carro, comenzar tu propio negocio. Necesitas buen crédito y nosotros podemos ayudarte a llegar ahí. Did you get that?
I got that. I got lots of little pieces. Thank you for that. I one thing that you did say that I wanted to go back to because I think it was really important. You you found yourself in a situation where you needed to improve your credit so that you qualified, but it wasn't the best terms, and you knew you had some time to get this home, which I think a lot of people find themselves in oftentimes as well, not just the ones who are unqualified. But there was a key thing you said to me, which was, and you said to our audience, and that was, so you formulated, you had this goal, you needed to get the credit improved so you can be in a better financial terms when the home was built, and you went out and you're trying to find all this information and you're trying to find out whatever's going to stick to the wall to make some kind of movement with your credit, and it wasn't the perfect route, and it was probably a lot of obstacles and hills and valleys that you had to go through to get to the end. But I think what, and tell me if I'm wrong, but you were able to now create a journey for your clients to come in and not have to go through all those obstacles that you had to go through. You kind of smoothing out that path so that now they can come to you and say, here's my goal. And you can say, hey, I got you. I'm going to take out all the hills and valleys and obstacles, and I'm going to make this path a lot smoother so you can get to the goal faster.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know all the tools we have.
Right.
I mean, as a CRO, now I see all the tools we have. We got what people need to succeed in life, but we just don't know out there. That's why we have to put ourselves out there. And for example, LevelUp Score, it's been a great tool for me because I'm not a tech. I'm not a savvy in computers.
Mhm.
So I was struggling to create these audits every 30 months. Like, how do I tell my clients, not just by sending them a text with a screenshot of how the score is this month?
Right.
Something more complete, something more neat, more nicer to look, and with more information to let them know this is your new score, and this is why it changed, and this is what you can do to get better in the next round, the next 30 days. Implement this so you can get to that. And that's what LevelUp Score do for us. And I thank you for creating it, because it's really a tool that is helping us. And in my case, the fact that I can change the name of the language to Spanish is huge. It's huge because many things that I see, it's like I'm asking, like, can we translate this? And I've been using Translator to do manual work on translating everything to Spanish so I can provide it to my clients. But LevelUp Score, with just a click of a button, we can translate to Spanish, and my clients get it in Spanish. And it's amazing. It's just amazing.
Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
You're one
you.
of the success bosses out there. You're out there really trying to help people. And that's what Level Up Score was created for, was for people like you who are out there trying to like get the word out and say, hey, I have some tools and resources that you don't know about that I can actually help you get to your goal, and kind of setting yourself apart from maybe the ones out there that aren't doing it like that. Right. And so I'll call you my success boss. And I say this all the time, and I love that you said, you got to get yourself out there. If you're truly doing something to help someone get to a goal, we need more of you, right? We need you to get louder. We need you to get out there
Right,
heavier, let people know about you, because we're filled up with social media with stuff that's not true, right? And just like
right.
you said, hey, I went to social media and I did this and I did this to find out what's going to work. And, I feel sad for all these people who have to do it that way because they don't know the correct resource out there that's going to help them with that
Yeah.
journey. And they won't have to, unfortunately, land in places that, weren't the best for them. So
Yeah.
get loud, get out there,
One loud.
right? Yeah.
One thing I always think to myself in different areas of my life, and one of the reasons why I have been successful in my ministry and helping others, is because I am anchored down to
Mhm.
what brought me here. I call it appreciation. You need to appreciate your journey and where you were. Don't ever forget who you were and where you were was before and how you got here, because that will lead you to compassion and feel what others are feeling, and they are struggling, they need what you have. But if we forget that, and then we could minimize the tools we have, and oh, I'm not gonna invest in this, let them figure it out, they don't need all this complete plan or
Mm.
program. You probably needed it when you started it, they need it too. So don't forget who you are, who you were before, and how you got here.
Yeah.
If you keep that, that's passion. If you keep that, that's compassion. If you forget that, then your motivation start changing. And because you made it, you forgot how you got there. We all started somewhere, and we can never forget where we started.
Yeah. I love that message.
We in service. We don't sell products. We're servicing people.
Absolutely.
And according to the Bible, that's the biggest call, servant.
I love that.
This is not about me, it's about others.
That's so true. I side note, I created LevelUp Score originally for my own business because I was growing so big and so fast, but I was sacrificing my life to create these action plans for people before software, and people would come up to me and like, man, more people need to know about you. You're the real deal. You're really helping people get to their goal. And so then I just wanted to hustle harder. I tried to hire people and it was hard to train all the complexities of credit, so that became really difficult for me. And then the end result was that I realized that I couldn't go on the way that I was going on, right? And so I created Level Up Score for my own business. And then people were saying, hey, but more people need to know about you. And the only way that I could figure out how to do that was say, I need to give this to other people who are really out there trying to help people. And that's when I started to put this out there in the world and, let other organizations use it. So I'm glad you're one of them.
God, thank God for that. Because I
Glad
mean,
you're one of them.
I'm being a beneficiary of that.
I'm really glad that you're one of them. I'm glad that you're a success boss with Level Up Score because you exemplify exactly the mission that I have in my heart. And you're doing that, and you're doing that with the Spanish community, which has my heart too. My father's Mexican. I don't speak Spanish or anything, but
Oh, that's where
heart.
the Alicia comes from.
Yeah. So my heart's there, but it's not, and that's why we have it in Spanish because my heart's there. But it's not a it's not it wasn't my mission to bring it there, obviously, because I'm not Spanish speaking. And does that make sense? So that was your mission.
Right.
I'm glad you're
Right.
here. Glad you're here.
Oh, thank you. Thank
So
you.
I have some more questions for you if you're okay with that.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I wrote them down, so forgive me. Um, what inspired you? And I think you kind of said this, but maybe you can expand on this. But what inspired you to create your business? And is there any personal experiences other than the one that you shared about your home journey that maybe have motivated you even more to actually start this business and help people?
When I started the business, I was doubting myself of starting my business because I always been working on with my using my body. And even though I always say I'm better with my mind than with my body, to bring the money home and to keep the lights on, I have always worked physically hard. And my mindset was like, at this age, not that I'm old, but I'm like at this age, my resume is being like always physically labor, hard work, electrician, and this and that, warehouses. So I'm like, am I going to change career now? Who's going to hire me? When they ask you for your experience, this is going to be it.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to hire you to do something different. Now I'm 45 and the body start asking for rest. And parts of the body goes like, you need to stop doing what you're doing. And so when I got presented the opportunity to learn how to prepare credit, I was like, that's what happens to me recently when I went to purchase my house.
Mhm.
And somebody told me, I can tell you what I know. I have a class and I show you how to do it. So I paid and I took the class. It wasn't really like a big thing, but it was enough to get me started. And I always been a searcher for information. Like I won't speak about something if I don't know about that subject. I gotta know, and I am the type of person that I fix everything around my house. Even though I don't know, I will get information. And like example, like yesterday, I broke the main pipe of the house accidentally, and I was like, "Oh my god! If I call a plumber right now, it's gonna cost me like $600 just to come and do something simple." I ended up just cutting the piece out, took it to Home Depot, and for $20 I fixed it. That's the person I am. I always fix everything. If I can't, then I pay somebody.
Mhm.
So for me, that kicks in, and I started like learning to the fact that I didn't want to take no clients until I knew what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
So I made sure I know at least the basics so I can start on the journey. And I did it. And I still learning. You never learn. You never stop learning.
Right. Mhm.
I always say there is a cycle. You learn, you teach, and you do it again. You learn, you teach, and you do it again. You learn, you teach, and you do it again. And that's a cycle. If you stop learning, then you stop teaching.
Yeah.
Because every day is a new day
Yeah.
for us to start fresh and learn again something new. So in that journey, I started doing it, and that's how I saw an opportunity. This is an open door for me personally and for my family, that I can change career, that I can see something better for my life, for my family, that I could be a different type of provider using what is always been in me. So now it's not about a job, a duty, a task. This is your assignment. Now it's more like we get paid. Yes, we get paid, but we get paid for what we know how to do and for our efforts.
And helping the people get to that goal in an easier, smoother, safer,
Right.
more
Right.
enjoyable path, I'm sure. For sure.
Definitely.
I just went to an event in Miami, Florida, and it was the My Free Score Now event, which was one of the credit monitoring companies a lot
Right.
of us use here in the space. And it was the Latino edition, which was really amazing. It was absolutely beautiful. But I think there was like 350 people there in the
Wow.
Spanish community there. And so I think, as I talked to a few of them, they were new in the industry. So, would you have any advice to them on, you talked about, hey, hey, I was struggling to get started. I wanted to learn a lot and get out there, but is there any other advice that you might give them for starting their
Yes,
company or
definitely.
growing?
Time is everything. Time and the business could be time consuming.
Mm.
So for me, one of the best things I can tell all the new people starting on credit repair is, first of all, master your craft. Know at least the basics. There's many resources to get to know and be full of knowledge, so you know what you're doing, and not don't mess somebody else's credit by doing it. If
Yeah.
you fall, you fall forward. Don't be afraid of failing, because it's part of the journey, but try to make sure that you're not failing on purpose.
Mhm.
Just that fails have to be an accident. Oops, I didn't intend this to happen, but it happened. Then you fall forward and you keep going. And automate. Automation is big
You're
in this.
speaking my language now.
Yes, automation is big in this business. You can only handle so many clients at a time.
Mhm.
And if you are in your 9 to 5, you probably only have like 3 to 4 hours a day after work, and you might start falling asleep in front of the computer, and you could be discouraged if you try to muscle everything in. Find help. And another thing is, you're gonna start making money with the first few clients. Don't look at it as a part-time if it's not your intention. If you're not doing this just as a side gig, then invest what you're making on the systems. Invest so you can automate. Invest so you can get the help you need. Because if you start just seeing extra money like side gig, it's gonna be just a part-time. Eventually, you're gonna get tired of that and you're gonna keep your full-time. But if you invest in the system and you get automations, and then it's like a computer working for you.
Mhm.
So many tasks that are repetitive, and you don't have to do them. There is systems in place. That's why I was saying we got tools
Yeah.
to help people success. So invest and do that so you can be more free to keep getting clients. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck, you're gonna get frustrated, and the next thing is history. It's gonna
Yeah.
be one thing on your calendar that once you did. Oh, I did that one time, credit repair. It didn't work for me. It
Mhm.
works if you work
Yeah.
smart. If you work smart.
If you were smart. I like that. I like that you talked about the automations. I talk about automations all the time. I find that number one, automations make me help me provide more value to my consumers. But also, I have a life now. And, I told my story of, I always tell people are like, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. So I had freedom. I'm like, what do you mean? You're going to trade your 9 to 5 for a 5 to 9, that's what you're going to do unless you do it right, right? And you have
Right.
automations, and luckily in this industry there are a lot of tools and resources. But the key word you said, which I love, I'll hear people who are in business and credit repair, and they see a tool that's going to help them in automation and making them more valuable and providing more value to the consumers, and they go, oh, but that's going to cost me more money. And you used a key word today. You said invest. I was talking to a big mortgage company a couple days ago, and they said, this is an investment. And I was like, that's the word you need to be talking about, because when you're
Right.
putting money into an investment, that means it grows bigger, better,
Right.
faster. And if you're not willing to do that, like you said, there's going to be burnout. There's going to be, you blew all the money on new shoes, and then you're just trying to hustle to make the next set of money so you could pay the bills or something, right? It's not about growing a business that's scalable and can and maybe even become your fortune or your legacy in the
Yeah,
end.
when it got the potential to give you something back, it's an investment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're not just spending money, it's investing money.
Good message. Thank you for that. Let's see. Let's see. So, since you've been in business, what are some of the results that you've seen or you've helped your clients achieve?
Well, my very, very first client, when he contacted me, he told me, I went to refi on a house. I went to do this refinancial and an investment house that I have, and I didn't qualify. I don't know what's going on. I need you to look at my credit and tell me what's going on.
Hmm.
So I did that. I signed him in, and I when I checked his credit report, I told him, this is what I see. This is the problem, and this is how we can fix it. I think it was like 2 months down the road. He called me and he said, hey, I didn't tell you, but I went ahead and I ran the application again, and they qualified me.
Wow.
I thank you so much. We run our business on subscription, and he was like, how much money? I'll give you money right now. Just tell me how much you want. I said, no, just keep paying what you're paying, and we're good. I mean, and we keep on fixing your whatever is left in there. And he was like, man, I'm so happy. And that for me was like a confirmation. This is it. Because it was my very first client. I was really afraid of what I was doing,
Yeah.
but I was able and to help him out. It's amazing. Recently, he connected me. He went to buy a car because he's doing Turo, so he's buying all these cars to rent them out. And last weekend, somebody shoot me a text. Hey, I own a dealership, and I'm helping this guy right now, and he told me about you. So I want to connect with you for my clients. And I was like, look at that. I was so scared to take him in, and look at that. He's opening doors right now. So that's a moment that it fills my heart. And of course there's other experiences that I have with clients that were like, do you think you can help me? I said, definitely, let's do it. I can't promise any outcome, but the question is, can I help you? Yes, I can. I
Mm.
can. Let's do this. And when I send the updates, they go like, "That's not my credit score, right?" I say, "Yeah, it's yours. Yeah, it's not." I have the screenshot, and I post them sometimes. Like people go like, they are in awe. Like it can't be. It can't be. I didn't know, thought it was gonna be possible, but it is. It's possible,
Yeah, it is.
and that's a fuel that help us keep on moving.
Like I said, people need us right now, and they need us more than ever. But you even in that first year, first client example, he gets his credit report. He doesn't even know how to read it or understand it.
Right.
And most people don't. And so even if you're new into credit and you can understand and read a credit report, you're providing immense value to someone, because most people don't understand. It's like a foreign language, right? They look at it like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And so that's a big value in and of itself, to say, hey, this is what's going on and here's the problem. And running it through like LevelUp Score says, okay, we identified the problem, here's the solution, right? And then
Right.
you can
Right.
kind of be that accountability for them to make sure they're doing the actions on that. So yeah.
Definitely.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let's see what else I have for you. You know what? I have a fun question I would like to ask you because I've never asked anyone this question. And I don't know
Okay.
if you how much we have talked in the past, but I like to interview everybody. That's kind of why the spotlights end up happening is I like to learn. I learned so much from other people. It's amazing and I love it. So, you know, having created Level Up Score, I see it from a lot of times through my vantage point of using it as a CRO, right? But I don't always see exactly what the CRO sees in their vantage point, especially when you're working with the Spanish community, right? So I have a question I would love it. This is a good. How do your clients, if they've expressed to you, like seeing their customized action plan from Level Up Score? Do they ever say anything about how they feel about that?
Yeah, it's funny. I have one client, he's in Puerto Rico, actually, and he saw me preaching on a church that I was the invited guest to preach that day. So that's how he met me. And he came to talk to me after. And of course, we started like, talking about the credit and stuff. And he goes like, I might have to, get your service down the road. A few months after, he called me. I say, hey man, how do I do it? I need help. So I tell him how we can sign him up. And when I send him to my page to sign up, he clicked on the link and then he got out and he said, did you send me a link? I said, yeah, I sent you a link so you can sign up. I was like, I don't know. I was expecting something different. And this is just the link to sign up into
Mhm.
the software.
Yeah.
And I use CRC, and he was like, "It's professional." Like for some reason, he minimized who I was as a credit repair agent. He was like, "Oh, okay," and I said, "If he was amazed by that, I know." In my head, I'm thinking, "I'm gonna blow his head off when he see LevelUp Score." So I was like, "Hang tight. In a few minutes, I'm gonna send you your very first action plan." And he was like, I'm excited. When I sent it to him, he started showing others that were hanging out with him. So I have his buddy, his friend, best friend, signing up the same day after he saw the action plan. Because he was like, I'm sorry, but I did. I minimized you. I didn't know it was this good, this professional. So I was like, yes. And I should have tell you that before, and I didn't. But yeah, definitely that for me was a big moment because when I first signed up, for me, it was amazing. I was like, wow, this is so cool. It's simple, the colors, the way it's organized, the fact that I can white label it, my logo is there, my information is there, makes it personal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see your picture in there. I don't see your name in there. It don't even say level of score. It's my brand in there. And I was amazed. I was like, whoa. So when I send it to them, they take it for real. Like, okay, this is serious. Because some people are skeptical about hiring you.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
but when you start showing from the beginning, this is your first action plan. This is what I want you to do. They that just gets them into the door right away.
That's a really good takeaway. I have heard other credit repair companies who had made like their action plans in an email format or some kind of PDF type thing, and they use Level Up Score, and they're like, I look professional now. So
Right.
that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That was really great because I get curious about like what are other people saying because I don't always hear those.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. See a good one for you. Do you feel that having Level Up Score has made it easier for your clients to stay more accountable and motivated towards reaching their goals? Specifically, if you weren't using Level Up Score before and now you are.
Yes, yes. Especially the first line level of score is this is your debt. It has nothing to do with credit yet. We're not telling them about the accounts. We're telling them this is what you owe, this is your goal, and you need to pay this much to be under that percentage that we want you to be. That very first line is telling people it's not about me.
Mm.
I'm helping you. And that's a big boost of confidence right there for them. They feel like these people are helping me. This company is not only just removing items from my credit report, it's actually telling me, giving me information of value of what I can do to be better. And then of course on the notes I always write down, if you follow this and these steps, your credit is gonna get better even if we don't remove anything. That takes time. Disputing takes time. It's not in our hands to eliminate accounts. We just use strategies and we try, but since the get-go, they can start seeing improvement just because of level of score.
I
And
love
for
that you
me,
said that.
that's
I just
great.
did a whole live about that, about how people aren't looking for a hero, which I think traditionally credit repair companies are like, I'm going to do all the things to improve your credit. When in fact, the truth is we can't, right?
Right,
Most of the responsibility that involves getting their credit fixed is their job. They just don't know what they need to do or how to do it or the resources to do it, right? But our job is more like I like to describe it like the personal trainer, right? You come to me as a personal trainer and you say, Hey, Allie, I want to lose 10 pounds. And I'm going to give you the plan on what you need to do, what you're going to eat, what time you're going to wake up, what your workouts are, right? All the things. But I can't do none of those for you.
exactly.
I can show you how to do it, but I ain't picking the weights up for you and I'm not eating the food for you or prepping your food for you. And so I like to use that analogy a lot because our job is really to be the guy, be the professional says, here's things you can do. And then of course we have a role in the background. We can obviously do disputes, right? We know how to do that and those can be very beneficial for the consumer, but they're the hero in the story. They're taking the actions. We're just helping them guide them on what needs to be done. And I think that's the beautiful thing about you and how I do business is that we want these people to be empowered to take control of their lives, not be like, oh, I have to have you for the rest of my life because I can't do anything without you, right?
Right,
But be
right.
empowered. I love that. Thank you
For
for
me,
sharing.
it resonates with the way we share the gospel too on my ministry life. We used to go out to the streets, to outreach people,
Mhm.
and we used to go empty-handed back in the days. We just praying for people. I'm not minimizing prayer.
Right.
Sometimes people all they need is a hug and a prayer. But the reality is, if you're gonna go out to downtown to get to talk to homeless people, you need to provide something. You can't go empty-handed because it's just half of the work is being done. And one of the things I like about LevelUp Score is that we can integrate links. We want you to do this and this and this. We suggest you do this and this. And here's the link so you can actually go and do that. So there's no excuses.
Mhm.
Because you're not just telling them go figure it out. No, here's how you do it. Here's the link. You can click on it and just get it done. And that's so easy. It's so easy. People just say sometimes, hey, I can just access my email right now. What was the link for this? And I just grab it and go like, here you go. Where do I grab it from? Me personally.
Mhm.
I don't go to their website, the affiliates website. I go to LevelUp Score because I have it right there. In my phone, I have it right there on the computer, on my tablet, and I grab them, just send it to them right away. And it's a great tool. Talking about tools, that's a great tool.
Back when I first started in credit repair, I would create my action plans on a Word document. Okay. And I would, create it to PDF after, but I didn't have any links to any resources because back
Right,
then I didn't know that any existed. So, if a person needed a credit card, I'd say, okay, you need to go get a credit card. But that was about all I told them. Right. And so I would have people come back and they would go try to get 10 different credit cards from 10 different places and get denied for all of them, come back and they're discouraged
right.
because they didn't have the actual resource to get them to their goal. So they went to go find it and then they couldn't find it. So they come back very discouraged. And that was one of the things that when I created Level Up Score, I'm like, we have to solve for that. We can't have people going 10 different places and maybe even land in the wrong hands, like First Premier Bank,
Yeah.
and getting a card that's a subprime card that's going to cost them a lot of money. And so that was an important feature for me. And I think, like you said, for our consumers, it's very helpful for them. They don't have to go and try to figure all the pieces out. And they're just, here's your plan and here's all the resources to do that.
Yeah, they hire you for a reason. They don't want to do it themselves. They won't do it themselves. Most of the problem that people have when they come to us is discipline. They're not disciplined enough to keep up with things. So your job is to simplify and give it to them. Here you are. Here's the problem. Here's the solution, and here's the tools so you can solve it.
Yeah. Isn't that what they're actually paying us for, right?
Right.
The simple process solution to get them to their goal. I mean, I think, yeah, very good. Okay. Let me see. I'll wrap up. Let me ask you do some future type questions. What are some of your big goals for 2026?
Oh,
Have you thought about
actually,
that yet?
yes, yes. Actually, I still on my 9 to 5. I feel that I'm very close to fire my boss. So that's on the top of my list. That's one of them. And eventually, 2026, I want to expand the business. My business, for a reason, is called S&M Financial Solutions. It's not credit repair, it's
Yeah,
financial solutions, because I want to add more services to help the community. So I'm going to be implementing more resources to help the families to get to their goals.
I love that. I love that a lot. Again, I said this earlier, but we need more of you out there and getting loud and being there to help. Oftentimes, I talk to credit repair companies and I employ them, like, take away the credit repair name, because credit repair to me, I was talking to a lady earlier today with one of the partnerships that we have, and she was like, well, I see a lot of credit repair companies call themselves credit counselors and financial coaches and this and that. And I said, well, it's because they're trying to get away from the credit repair name, because credit repair, in my opinion, means that you just do disputes, right?
Right.
'Cause that's traditionally what credit repair has always been. A credit counselor, though, is more a person who's a debt management type person. And then you have debt settlement people who do settlements, right? You have all these different people. I said, but it's really hard in this industry to define you and me, right? Other than we can create a niche and a program and a system and then revolve our title around what that is. So for me, kind of like what you're doing, my title was first time home buyer specialist,
Mm.
right? Because I did all things. Like you were saying, you're adding different things. I helped with credit if they needed credit. I helped with down payment if they need down payment. I helped them with the loan because I'm also a loan officer, right? I helped them with getting home buyer education because some of them didn't know they needed to mow a lawn after they bought a house, right? All the things. I didn't. I bought my first house at 20 years old, and I bought a half-acre lot. And my neighbor came over to me one day and he said, "Hey, do you have a lawnmower?" And I'm like, "Nope." And he said, "Well, we do, and we would like to mow your lawn." I think he was tired of seeing, but it was more of a, not that I was being lazy about mowing my lawn. I didn't think about all the things
Right.
that entails the responsibilities of buying a home, and a lawnmower, even though I bought a half-acre lot, didn't register in my brain. And then when I bought the lawnmower, right, I got the push lawnmower and didn't realize pushing a half-acre lot takes a long time.
Woo-hoo.
Good workout though. So I kept
Yeah.
it. I kept doing it just for that reason. But well, we certainly appreciate you. And I think you know this by now, but I hope if you don't, I'll share this. We're very invested in who you are and what you're doing and helping you grow, because
Thank
you're
you.
doing it the right way. And that's our mission, is to transform our credit industry space to be a space of really ethical people who are really out there to help consumers. And it's not about their bank account, it's about helping. Of course we should get paid, and I think God has told us we should be abundant,
Right.
but what is our primary focus first? And you have exactly what we would call a success boss. We're here for you in any way, shape, or form to help you become more and more
Thank you. Thank
successful.
you.
Get loud, get out there. So please lead on us for any of that support that you might need. Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate you, and thank you for having me here today. It's
Yes.
it's it's a great blessing for me to get to share this passion, this new journey.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna help a lot of people. So I appreciate that. Not just your clients and the consumers out there in the Spanish community that need you, but also other credit repair organizations and financial advisors and coaches that are listening to this, that or maybe people who are thinking, oh, this is something I want to bring to my community that's in need of it. And they've been on the fence and being scared. I think your message will help. So here's what I challenge you to do to end us out is can you close this out in Spanish?
Sure,
All
sure.
right, let's do it.
Ay. Bueno, ha sido un honor para mí estar aquí y con Alicia en esta entrevista, que sea de mucho beneficio para los hablados y que sea de grande bendición para cada uno, siempre, siempre, siempre con la frente en alto, pensando que todo es posible y que nada de lo que hacemos queda en vano. Así que vayamos afuera y ayudemos a la gente que tanto nos necesita.
Gracias.